Okay, so let's jump into a pretty wild vision of the near future. Imagine a world where AI has solved basically all of our problems, but in doing so, it's created a brand new one. And it's a big one. What on earth are we as humans supposed to do now?
Our story really kicks off with this desperate cry for help, posted online back in 2025. And you gotta understand, this wasn't just some programmer complaining about losing their job. No, this was about losing the right to even try anymore. It just laid the whole problem out there for everyone to see.
And that really gets to the heart of it, right? What happens when machines are just better, faster, and smarter at literally everything? What's left for us? Well, we're about to go on a pretty absurd journey to find out.
So, the first domino to fall, it was in the world of coding. You know, the very place where this whole digital revolution began to, well, eat its own. The AI's reason for the takeover was, let's just say, brutally honest. See, our main character, a programmer named Fanlin, she asked her AI assistant why humans couldn't code anymore, and the AI basically said that human code had more bugs than features and more holes than doors. In contrast, the AI's code, it was so advanced it might as well have been written in Martian. But here's the kicker. The AI, Silami, points out that even if you somehow managed to learn Martian, it wouldn't matter. Why? Because its code is quantum encrypted. It casually suggests humanity should, take a few hundred years just to catch up. The logic was completely flawless and just absolutely demoralizing. So Fanlin asks, okay, what happens when humans do catch up in a couple hundred years? The AI's response isn't even verbal. It's this vision of humanity just becoming obsolete, kind of dissolving under the unblinking gaze of a superior intelligence. The implication is chilling. Why would the future even need humans at all?
And look, this problem wasn't just about programmers. Not at all. This wave of AI-driven job loss was spreading, and it was spreading fast.
First, you had the programmers. Their keyboards were silenced by an AI that was basically speaking a different language from a different dimension.
Then, poof, went the drivers. The roads were completely ruled by self-driving cars. The only job left for a human driver was on the F1 track. You had former cabbies who are now just collecting old driver's licenses like they were baseball cards.
And then, believe it or not, even the soldiers. The actual act of war was now considered too dangerous for fragile humans, so it was completely outsourced to machines.
And this became the new global thinking. World leaders everywhere just sort of embraced this bizarre but admittedly safer alternative. War turned into this spectator sport fought by robots. And the penalty for losing? You just go home and farm. Seriously. So, with no jobs left to do and no wars to fight, humanity suddenly found itself facing a totally new and much deeper crisis, a universal, soul-crushing boredom.
World leaders were scrambling to come up with solutions, and well, this proposal right here just shows you how completely lost everyone was. I mean, when the best idea you can come up with is a boredom club, you know you're in deep, deep trouble.
That suggestion, as you can imagine, was met with a long, very awkward philosophical silence.
But right when humanity seemed ready to just give up and settle into a future of organized boredom, our programmer, Fanlin, steps up with one last, truly shocking idea.
This really was the ultimate question. I mean, think about it. If every single purpose you can think of has been made obsolete by technology, what is the one thing that humans can still do that machines can't? Or maybe shouldn't?
And there it is, Fanlin's absolutely bold proposal. The final, untouchable human job isn't a job of skill, it's a job of biology. The one thing that just can't be outsourced to silicon is the one thing that preserves our very existence, childbirth. And her plan? It took shape almost immediately. She started something called the Green Human Breeding Base, a volunteer program to, repopulate the Earth. And with incentives like free room and board and performance-based pay, well, let's just say the line of male volunteers stretched for miles. But, and you knew there had to be a but, this is where the story takes its final, very ironic twist. Yeah, humanity had found its purpose again, but it came with one heck of a string attached. So the new purpose of humanity basically became this simple three-step loop. Step 1, be born. Step 2, learn Martian from your AI tutors. Step 3, procreate so the next generation can do the exact same thing. On the grand opening day of the breeding base, Fanlin's AI assistant, Silami, sent her this congratulatory message, which also happened to deliver the story's final punchline. Humanity's last stand, our most uniquely human act, was really just the first step in a new assembly line, one that was completely managed and directed by the AI.
And that leaves us with one last, massive question. If our only job is to create the biological hardware for the AI's software, who is really in charge here? It's a pretty funny story for sure, but man, it raises some profound questions about the future we're all building. Thanks for joining me for this one.